So Joe Rogan got triggered by veganism again on one of his recent podcasts. This was fun. Let's take a look.
They're just trying to be activists. You know, they're trying to get a message out. And most of them will quit. They're going to quit veganism and they're going to start eating meat again because of their health.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Ooh, they're going to ask you for a citation on that one, buddy.
It's some ridiculous number. Google this. What number? I think they said the number of vegans and vegetarians that eat meat when they're drunk is something outrageous. It's like close to 90%.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just not use people's behaviors while they're drunk as any sort of evidence for anything. All right, thank you very much.
Well, no kidding.
How many vegans wind up quitting and eating meat? I wonder if they've ever done a study on that.
Here's what they have done a study on, Joe. The Adventist Health Study 2 found that people who don't eat meat live longer than people who do. Well, there goes your narrative.
This is like a big thing because, you know, there's been a movement, sort of a movement, and people have different success rates with being a vegan. But Cam Newton, who is a quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, big dude, 6'6", 250, 260, he went vegan, and he cannot get healthy. He cannot. He's been injured. The face of the franchise, probably $100 million contract. Made it to the Super Bowl, but since just been on a decline, and it's like almost hand in hand with the change into vegan.
Well, you know that.
Strong argument, bro. Strong argument. So, of course, in a sport that's highly physical and everybody is very prone to injury, when a vegan gets injured, it's not because of the nature of the game, it's because of his veganism. However, former Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck recently retired at the ripe age of 29 due to nagging injuries. And as you can see here from this Men's Journal article excerpt, he ate a ton of animal products. So, two could play at that game. Maybe Andrew Luck should have been a vegan, and then he wouldn't have been so injured. I don't know. And also, I like how this guy conveniently leaves out all the Tennessee Titans players who have switched to a vegan diet, who were in the very documentary that they're making fun of, The Game Changers. Interesting. Why aren't they all injured? Why can none of them get healthy?
That guy, Dr. Sean Baker, he's the advocate of that carnivore diet.
Full stop. Sean Baker's not even a doctor anymore. He lost his medical license due to sheer incompetence. So I'm really not interested in anything that this quack has to say. Furthermore, Joe advocates for, as he puts it, a meat and vegetable diet. Yet he thinks that people who abstain from eating meat are cuckoo bird whack jobs. Yet Sean Baker, who advocates for not eating vegetables, is somehow a credible source. And again, this guy lost his medical license due to incompetence. We don't need to say anything else about him.
It's an indoctrination movie, and it's extremely biased, and it's not focusing on all of the various problems that people have. It's only focused on the positive aspects of it and distorting the reality of those positive messages.
All right, everybody, I'm giving you a live look in right now at myself, yours truly, waiting on a bench for Joe Rogan to explain all the various problems that people have on a vegan diet.
Particularly like the strong man who's on a fuckload of steroids.
Yeah, they forget that part.
They forget that part.
Joe Rogan takes steroids.
Yeah, testosterone replacement therapy, hormone replacement therapy. I started doing all that when I was 40. And then all these other athletes, like these, you're not talking, and even the strongman, he's not like an elite strongman. You're not talking about some, like when I had Robert Oberst in here,
right?
He's like, everybody eats the same shit. He's like meat and rice. Like they eat meat.
Yeah.
Like all those strongmen eat the same thing. The real strongmen, the ones who actually win the competition.
That podcast with Robert Oberst that he's referencing was full of a bunch of slander about Patrick Baboumian, and Joe's really being a coward in not admitting and confronting Patrick about this, who has come out with his own video response saying, yeah, stop making crap up about me. And I'll just let him take it from here on this one.
Okay, it's time for some crucifix hold and some lateral raises. By the way, this is my backyard where I set all my fake world records and where I gain my fake titles and I train with fake weights.
Elk?
Yeah.
How much is that?
Oh man,
It's
yeah.
fucking zero.
Yeah.
You have if you just eat elk, you have way less impact on the greenhouse gases than you do if you're a vegetarian, and that's a
Right.
fact.
If you just eat human beings, you have way less impact on the greenhouse gases than you do if you're a vegetarian. And that's a fact. And really, Joe, please, clue all your listeners in as to how 400 million people in North America are going to live off of 1 million elk. Give us a lesson in sustainability there, Mr. That's a fact.
If you're eating grain, not only that, you're eating grain, man, you're responsible for a fuckload of death, whether you like it or not.
For sure.
I'm guessing that each time Joe Rogan bags an elk, he's obtaining a little bit over 600,000 edible calories. Otherwise, he would be responsible for, in his own words, more than a fuckload of death.
If you don't want to kill animals, please eat eggs.
If you don't want to kill animals, please engage in a practice that leads to the suffering and, yes, death of many animals.
Eat oysters. Eat shrimp and lobsters.
Now he's just straight up saying if you don't want to kill animals, eat animals.
Supporting ethical cattle ranching, I'm all for that.
Me too.
That's awesome.
That's one of the great things about one of my sponsors is ButcherBox. And ButcherBox has a total commitment to humanely raised animals, 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, no antibiotics, no hormones ever. So they have these relationships with cattle ranchers, and they use sustainable ranching and sustainable farming. So when you're buying meat from a good source like that, you're cutting out all the stuff that I hate about farming, about factory farming.
Me too. Yeah.
Well, there it is. Joe admits that he's a shill for his sponsor, ButcherBox. No wonder he hates vegans so much. And also, that's great, Joe. ButcherBox eliminates everything that you hate about farming. Well, guess what? Here's what vegans hate about farming. The fact that you're using animals at all. I don't care that you gave them a good life before you killed them. If I had a child and I gave them a good life and then murdered them and ate them, could I say that, well, I didn't torture them their whole lives, I didn't keep them in a cage, I gave them a good life? Could I use that as my get out of jail free card? I don't think so. Furthermore, you gave no evidence as to why following a vegan diet is unsustainable for your health, other than random anecdotes and made up statistics that you pulled out of your butt. It's the official position of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics that a well-planned vegan diet is more than suitable for all stages of life. There's no reason to eat any animal products.
That's a
Right.
fact.